Thank you. Thank you for that introduction, copied from Google. Chairman of the session today, most respected, one of the most respected scholars of the country today, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, and Professor Vatuvada, who one time had been a teacher to me also on business management, Columbia University, Professor Balasundaram, and Jayasilanganan, chairman of the group, and friends. Bala, good to have seen you again. The people who spoke before me are people with wisdom. So they spoke very diplomatically. I'm going to deviate from that because I'm expected to be honest and to be an agent to change some of the structural way we think in this country. Sirs, all your points are taken. We have heard this before. Then why are we here? Saying the same thing. Let us be honest. In 1983, my house was burned. I was waiting for results from the university. And when I got into university, it was not able to study because of my surname. Then I got a transfer to Columbia University. There the situation wasn't good. I started doing marketing. Marketing, there's a famous metric. If you are to be successful, I'm sure Chairman Jnanam, you know this by heart. You need to have a product, you need to have a price, you need to have a place, you need to have a promotion. Later, of course, they have added 7 more P's to that. But Anderson's marketing metrics took only recently to think that a successful marketing campaign or a successful economy needs a fundamental reason called political will. Unless otherwise you have a united political will to take this country above from where we are, all your words are going to be written in the, not in the history, but in air. I'm a political scientist by training. I want to be an architect. I love buildings, and I love building buildings. But like the first love, you never have the first love, right? You always only think about the first love. Then I became a political scientist, also to study comparative politics. My father was in prison for political reasons, so I had to study hard. I had no means to go to Oxford. None of my family members had gone to Oxford because we are not the elites. And nobody could pay us in sterling pounds. But I worked hard my way. Knowing only education is the only way to go forward. In Oxford, we met many nations, members from many nations. Benazir Bhutto's son was a student of mine at Balliol College. Then he followed me to Wolfson College. Only in Wolfson College I recognized and came to know that he was Benazir's son, because he was so humble. Nobody knew who he was, maybe for security reasons. So we talked many. Today he's the chairperson of the PPP, Bala, just across your boundaries. And I've been asking him recently also on email, how do we envision South Asia's divided politics? South Asia has this entire potential that these 2 eminent gentlemen today presented to you. But then the question is, if we are like that, why are we like this? I think far too often we search for the lost key not where it was lost, but where there is light, like Mullah Nasaruddin did. It is easy to search the key where you have light, not where you actually lost the key. So this evening, without boring too much, and maybe without boiling some people's blood here, I will only leave two thoughts so that your dinner can be more digestible. We need a political will that is based on democracy. There are 197 countries in the United Nations system, and we all agree not a military junta, not a family elite, not an elected leader who becomes a dictator, not a family bandit. No, none of those systems will work for 21st century. Only a democracy will work. If so, we who have practiced democracy from 1923, one of the first countries to franchise, and the country to produce the first woman prime minister in the world, why are we here? My answers may not be yours. You may totally disagree with my answers, but unfortunately these are mine. Our democracy is not a participatory democracy. It is locked in a majoritarian democratic ideology, which the world by 1930s had given up, where one group of people, numerically majoritarian, try to rule, make decisions for the entire country. Yes, that was the system, but that's gone now. What we have now today in the world is called participatory democracy, where you invite even the least member of the society to be part of the decision maker process. We need a participatory democracy that will be built on, as political scientists Arnold Lichbart have named, on a conversational democracy. That is, that you are willing to negotiate even the most difficult point with your opponent. The sense of a democracy is that it's easy to talk to friends. As a person influenced by the Buddhist philosophy, Chairman Sir, I believe in rebirth. So I will meet good friends next birth also. So easy. We can have long chats next birth also. It's easy to talk to friends. But what is difficult is to talk to your opponent who is totally disagreeing with you. The strength of democracy that we believe and practice is to sit down and talk to those difficult people. So participatory democracy is needed to this country. We are at the shadows of another election for the 7th parliament of our nation. What are the visions? Who are the visionaries on the horizon? You smile. I understand your smile. And the whole world is smiling at my nation like this. We cannot anymore sit back and smile like that, because realities are hitting us so harsh. You know these numbers more than me. So democracy is an uncompromisable, an inalienable activity that all of us must engage in, a participatory democracy. ஜனநாயகத்துக்கு ஒரு முன்மாதிரி இல்லை, ஜனநாயகத்துக்கு ஒரு மாற்று வழி இல்லை, ஜனநாயகத்துக்கு ஒரு ජනනායකත්වයට ஒரே ஒரு வழி ජනනායක மட்டுமே. ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයට ඇති එකම මාර්ගය ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයේ පමණයි. ඒට විකල්ප නැත. කෙටි මාර්ගයක් නැත. විශ්වාසය ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය ගැන විශ්වාස කරන අය සමග ගනුදෙනු කිරීමයි. So we need to redefine and re-engage mode of our democracy. Then since you have come to Jaffna, you will not be able to avoid this question of justice. If somebody is trying to avoid that question, they are dishonest to you, sir. They have been too nice to you. I have been here 5 months now, 6 months now already. Every morning and evening, this is the issue that I face. The issue of justice. நீரில்லாட்டியும் பரவாயில்லை சார், எங்களோட மக்களுக்கு நீதி வேண்டும் என்று கேட்கின்ற குரல் தான் ஒவ்வொரு முறையும் எனக்கு காலையிலும் பின்னேறும் கேட்டுக்கொண்டிருக்கிறது. Somebody mentioned about the potable water, drinking water problem in in Jaffna Peninsula, and that is the most fundamental infrastructural issue right now Northern Province is facing. 1.3 million population, 643,000 people living in the Jaffna Peninsula without a single drop of water coming through a pipe-borne water system. Our kudams are dried. We don't harvest the rainwater. God has been good to us. He or she still sends water to us. But we have failed to harvest and manage that water. Therefore, the kidney issue which was in Ampara, which moved to Pulannaruva, which moved to Anuradhapura, which moved to Vavuniya, now in Kilnochi. 6,000 kidney patients are in Kilnochi. Soon, because we are drinking poison instead of fresh water. Nobody has solutions for that. Yes, we need airports. Yes, we need to be connected. But we need to live before that. So, stop these political games. Ask honest questions. On the issue of justice, sir, this is for my colleagues in Jaffna. The democracy is my appeal to the southern friends. Start treating Jaffna as part of participatory, democratic, equal citizenship. My southern friends. My northern family members, I appeal to you. We have no time to waste anymore. Our nation had suffered enough. 4 nations, 4 armies had walked through this small land within a small period of time, like 29 years. Not just 1 army, but 4 armies have walked through. Be careful what you are asking. Very often I hear that I talk about transitional justice from people who do not even know the concept of transitional justice, because so much of NGO influence. When you ask justice, according to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, there are 3 types of justice that one need to ask. Retributive justice. That is, you want to punish who punished you. Tooth for tooth, eye for eye. Go after them. You have the right to go after them. Because you are the person who bearing the pain, so it's left to you to go. Instead, Bhagavad Gita talks about another 2 types of justice also. That is reconciliational justice. That you meet your enemy into the eye and say, have the guts to say, I forgive you. Punishment to you. You did all this to me, but I am far greater than you. I am far above than you. I am stronger than you. So I get up and say, I forgive you. That is reconciliation justice. Then comes the 3rd type of justice. Restorative justice. When you are able to say, when you are able to reach reconciliation justice, the victimhood, victimology, and the whole process gets restored. It is restorative justice. Then, my friends, we need to ask from South, democracy. We need to give them justice in 3 forms. Thank you. Have a good night.